All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Token D Rock. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. It is Monday, February 14th, or Valentine's Day. Hope you guys woke up on the right side of the bed. If you don't have a Valentine's this year, next year is your shot. Anyways, addressing the crypto market, you guys, the total crypto market cap is sitting just under $1.9 trillion. Come down since facing some resistance right around here at 45,500, right around 45K. We have seen some altcoins come down because Bitcoin did face some resistance. Ethereum is below 3K again. It did go, I believe, almost 2,800. Binance coin is below $400. Solana is below $100 again. Luna's starting to recover a little bit, but um, I I did the stream earlier today. I was not too thrilled with the way it went. I was kind of like all over the place because I had so many different ideas. And also, just starting on Mondays, I think to show you guys the power of compounding interest or staking your crypto, hodling it long term, I think what I'm going to do moving forward on Mondays is give you guys an interest update, kind of like more or less what juicy rewards I earned for this week. We're gonna do Celsius every Monday, and then we're gonna try and do Voyager and everything else like the first Monday of every month. But as you can see, I earned $6.37 in Bitcoin for the past week for just holding some Bitcoin over on Celsius. I got a link down below. If you want to get started, get signed up, earn some free Bitcoin. By clicking that link, you will help your boy out with some free Bitcoin too. So it's a win-win. And I earned a whole $4.55 of Ethereum. Obviously, that's based off of the current value of those assets, but in my opinion, long term, those little dollar amounts, $10 here and there on the weekly adds up with compounding interest. But interest and the interest you can earn on Celsius Voyager, that's not the focus of today's video. The focus of today's video is why I am so bullish on Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of that, I am going to show you guys the hourly chart one more time. As I stated earlier, we did face some resistance from the bears, trying to drive that price down. Um, we faced the resistance right around 45,000, 45,500. The bulls got rejected. Price dumped a little bit. We found support at 43K that was holding, and then the bears drove the price momentum downwards a bit more. And then we found some support right around 41.6, 41.7. And as of right now, that support is holding. That's not to say can't break here in the next day or two. I mean, with all these talks of the pandemic, Ukraine, and all this other stuff going on with the world supply shortages, supply lines being devastated because of the pandemic. Like, there's so much stuff going on. So please, if you got money on the side, if you're doing your weekly dollar cost average or monthly dollar cost average, by all means, stick to your schedule or whatever. But be careful with throwing a bunch of money in the market right now. Personally, I don't think the bottom is in. I think we do need to go hit that 30K, 32K price point for Bitcoin one more time. That's just how I feel. But something that may be kind of contrarian to that ideology or that belief is that if you kind of compare this spring right here to this spring, they're actually not too far off. They're actually within $1,000 price range. It kind of makes sense if you think about it, because Bitcoin did drop to like 29K over here, and then it sprung up all the way to roughly 42, 43K over here. Though we dumped all the way down to 33K, found some support, found a local bottom, momentary bottom, and rallied all the way to 45K. Not again within $1,000 price range. Not saying we are breaking out of this downtrend for sure. It's not certain. We could go down a bit further, but history has a tendency to rhyme. It doesn't have a tendency to repeat and completely, word for word, but things kind of rhyme throughout history. So pay attention to that. The real reason why I am so bullish on crypto and Bitcoin is because of this. Now, they released the CPI data last week, and it came out that we were looking at a 7.5% CPI for this year to year growth. Um, that's not very good, you guys. I mean, they originally said it was like 5%, and this is before the Fed was even talking about tapering, or they were saying we're going to start tapering interest rates starting in 2023. Then they moved the deadline to like sometime in 2022. Fed's actually meeting today, so I'll probably make a video or live stream tomorrow morning, doing another video kind of going over that and my thoughts on that. But basically, they went from 5% to 6%. Now they're saying 7.5%. It seems like this number just keeps going up. Obviously, this number has to go down at some point. The question is when. And personally, I don't think this interest or this CPI, the consumer price index, I don't think any of this is going to change drastically for the better anytime soon. I think we're kind of like in a recession or depression of some sorts with the pandemic, things going on, the tensions in Ukraine, supply shortages, supply lines being shocked, devastated by the pandemic. We went over that, but I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. Like, I hate to be a Debbie Downer because personally, I'm a very optimistic person. I like to I like to set good goals for myself. I think things are on the up. I think we're going to come out of this pandemic. We just don't know when, but some people are like, yeah, this is it. Like, it's never going to get better. I think we're going to see greener days. But things are not looking too good, you guys. So they keep moving up the CPI figure. They'll probably be saying it's like 8 to 10% by the end of the year. They just have to. They're slowly moving the goalposts. They can't let us know exactly what CPI is because if if the general public knew how high the CPI really was, I think people would be shitting their pants and people would probably be putting every freaking penny in crypto right now. So the reason why I'm addressing these charts and the CPI is because this this influences the crypto markets. This influences all markets. The more money that's being spent on gas, rent, utilities, whatever it may be, the cost of your food, your staple goods keeps going up. That means you have less money to put into the stock markets, put into the crypto markets. So that's not good. And that also means that it's kind of like a hidden tax. So if you're not getting a raise at your job year after year, you're essentially taking a pay cut because inflation on average was averaging between 2 to 4% for the majority of my life, according to this chart. I'm using this chart because this is pertaining to my lifetime. I've lived these years. This chart, I didn't live in the 80s. I didn't live in majority of the first half of the 90s. So I'll address that chart in a second. But look, 2 to 4% inflation year after year. So if you're not getting a raise, you're taking that hit year after year. You do the math, guys. In 50, if inflation's 2%, in 50 years, the value of your dollar gets halved. At 4% inflation rate, the value of your dollar gets halved in a quarter of a century. It's not rocket science. And so basically what they did was this is how they used to calculate the CPI. I'm going to assume they had to change the way they calculated CPI because if they kept telling the Americans or the US citizens, hey, inflation's at 5-10% year after year after year after year, I think 5 to 10 years, I think the general populace would just get fed up with and probably overthrow the government. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, I think they wanted to kind of get rid of the panic and kind of alleviate some people's stresses about the market and the economy as a whole. So I think that's why they started adjusting the way they calculated CPI or inflation, stuff like that. But as you can see, these figures differ pretty drastically. I mean, here and like the recession that we saw in like 08, 09, they're saying the CPI was negative. But if you were to look at the old way that they were calculating things, the CPI was like at 6, 7%. So you can see, years 2022, we're looking at 7.5% interest rate. Obviously, if what's it called? Obviously, if they keep printing money and the conditions that are present right now and today, if they continue, this inflation, the CPI number is just going to keep going up. But as you can see, we're looking at 7.5%. If we use the old model of calculating CPI, we're looking at 15%. Okay. It's actually over 15%. That looks like 16%, something like that. 15.5, 16%. Can you guys just conceptualize like 16% of your dollar losing value like year after year? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that. But if it were to, your dollar would buy you half the stuff in less than a decade. It would be literally like 6 years, 6 to 7 years. That's all it takes at a 15% interest rate. Let's say inflation rate or CPI is 10%. In a decade, the dollar of your value is halved. So personally, if inflation, the CPI numbers keep going up, I think it's going to drive even more and more people into the stock market and crypto because people are going to be pinching pennies. They're going to start reevaluating the subscriptions that they have every month, that they could actually put that money and invest it and maybe create life-changing wealth, a few years or a few decades down the road, depending on their investment strategy, depending on how committed they are. But I think this is a win for crypto. Like seeing CPI figures through the roof, seeing inflation at an all-time high. Like we're experiencing like what, the worst inflation since the 80s. Depending on the way you kind of configure things and calculate things, you could argue that this is the worst inflation since World War II, and that's saying something, okay? Because the whole thing with Ukraine, I hate to say this, but wars are started over debt. And personally, I do not think Russia or NATO, which consists of the UK, US, I'm pretty sure they don't want to tell the world, hey, there's a debt crisis. Because, I mean, the US debt clock is like at $30 trillion. It's never going to be paid for, you guys. So it's a house of cards that they're trying to keep up by any means necessary. That personally, I just don't see it staying up for very long. I think that house of cards is going to come tumbling here in the next, I'd say, decade. Like the financial sector, the banking institutions, that whole thing is going to be revamped, in my opinion. But again, nothing you hear in this video or see is investing advice. I'm not a qualified financial advisor. Everything you hear or see in this video is investment opinion, education, entertainment, name it what you want, but it is not financial advice. So if you guys found today's video and you're helpful in any way, shape, or form, and you like it, you want more content like this, please smash that like button. Show me that you like content like this. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live like this. I'm sorry if you're the one viewer who watched earlier stream, but it was not that great. My thoughts were kind of like scatterbrained, had a little bit too much coffee, and it was not good. But anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments section. I'd like to have your take on what's going on with crypto. What do you see coming in the future? Personally, I'm, like I said in past few streams, I haven't been buying a whole lot. I've been buying a little bit of VGX, a little bit of Bitcoin, but mainly I'm just stacking up cash on the side. So if we do see some more volatility, we do see these tensions rise, we do see CPI figures climb up, or the Fed today announces something crazy, well, the market tumbles a bit. If you're stacking cash, you're going to be pretty happy because may see some volatility to the downside, 5, 10, 20%. Who knows? There could be even a black swan event. You and I have no idea what's going to happen today or tomorrow in the crypto market. Just know that you're in it for the long haul, in it for life-changing wealth, and you're set. Again, that about does it for today's stream, everyone. If you want to start earning some passive income on the crypto you're hodling, short-term and long-term, got some links down below to get you started over on Celsius and BlockFi. Voyager's great platform as well if you want to do some trading. Got some links down below, so please check them out. Until next time, everyone, I hope all of you have a wonderful Valentine's Day or Monday. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So be here. I'll try and be pronto on being time, but no promises. Until next time, everyone, take care, invest wisely. Bye.